How are we, everyone? It's Wednesday night, so just had a tough break for the Orioles, man. Single there. Quan just hit it through. I'm watching it on my computer as well, like a lot of you are there. So 3-2 Guardians. I'm not saying the Indians as well. So 3-2 Guardians in that one as well. Thank you. This is Wednesday, so it's time for the Ravens Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe to all of our social media content. So thank you very much for joining us this evening as well. Couple things here, a little bit of business. 2025 preseason predictions, NFL. So the whole league on August 31st, 2025. Who do I think is going to be in the AFC Championship game, NFC Championship game, MVP? Who comes in first? We're going to go over that in its own separate video for the whole league on larger NFL content. Genesis Notary Services. If you know, you know. In Winchester, Virginia. So definitely check it out. If you do need any notary services, wedding officiant services, field inspection, some people live far away and you want to look at a house, we'll do it for you. We'll come right out. Our field inspection services as well. Definitely, we have a deal with Fanatics. So definitely look for our links if you want to go ahead and buy Ravens jerseys, Orioles jerseys, and hats. That's our emphasis, but you can buy other products now on Fanatics and our website, RavenResports.company.site. See Charles Harris. We are LegalShield.com. Definitely check all that out. Definitely, if you want to reach me intentionally for the Legal Shield, you can save a lot of money with the Legal Shield. I'm telling you, it can help your business. It's helped my business, and definitely do that as well. And lastly here as well, 2025 Maryland Terps preview is coming up here soon. So if you want to go ahead and watch the Terps this season, we're going to go ahead and preview that. August 24th, that is the Saturday before the first game. We'll definitely check that out against FAU. Could have a true freshman at quarterback. A lot of those Big Ten quarterbacks, a lot of changes as well. Penn State, our least favorite team, is the favorite in the conference, so we'll see about all that. All right. So if you were watching last night on our Driving with the Top, I was telling them after it was over, I think I said it on camera. Sometimes we forget our state of the franchise. One of my favorite videos all year long, the state of the franchise. So this is not the President's State of the Union. This is the Ravens State of the Franchise, because training camp officially was today. The first practice of training camp was today. Had a little scare from Zay Flowers, had a little bit of an injury, but he's okay. Got back on the field, finished practice as well. Jair Alexander looked really good in his first practice. So state of the franchise. So this is I always see this one as the beginning of the in-season. Training camp has officially begun. So let's go ahead and find out what is the state of the Ravens right now. That is right. John Harbaugh entering his 18th season as the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. So he is now – I had him on the hot seat last year, just signed a 3-year extension with the team. I think he's going to ride it out as long as we have Lamar Jackson in his prime. I think for sure that's going to be the case. I think you see a lot of that with those great coaches. They're going to stay as long as the quarterback stays as well. Can you believe it's been 80? This is going to be the 7th season now for Every Dollar Counts. Eric DeCosta is the GM. Ozzie Newsome for so many years was the GM along with Art Modell. Now Eric DeCosta, every job with the Ravens, college scouting, draft, etc., is taking the reins. 7-year, looking for his first Super Bowl. Todd Monken is his 3rd season, looking at head coaching jobs last year. Ultimately wound up not getting a head coaching job. They're getting him back. Same with Zach Orr. Defense was a little shaky at the beginning last year. Made some changes. Defense, Zach Orr gets his job, gets to keep his job in his 2nd season. Defense expected to be one of the best in the NFL this season. Was one of the better ones at the end of last season. And Chris Horton, again, can't believe 7 years. Chris Horton, gone. Not Jerry Rosberg, as well as the head special teams coordinator. Special teams under the gun, though, I would say, for the first time ever for the Ravens. Last year, Tucker not nearly as good. Some issues there. Special teams as a whole, tackling issues. For the first time, they weren't, I would say, a top 5 team as well. High standard for the special teams unit. So, who is it here? Who are we going to see? So, kind of go over some of the stuff during the offseason, but we'll go over it all here right now, okay? Nelson Aguilar is gone. No longer the 3rd receiver. As far as I know, he's still unsigned. Somebody in the comments correct me if he did go ahead and sign somewhere. Malik Harrison signed with the Squealers. So he's no longer there. Outside linebacker, he may start for them as well. Chris Board signed with the Giants. Second trip with the Ravens. You may see him at some point again. Special teams guy, etc. We may see him. Josh Jones didn't play nearly as much as they thought. He's going to play for former Raven assistant Mike McDonald in Seattle. Probably the biggest loss on the roster is Pat McCary. McCary, for so many years, was the 6th guy on the Ravens offensive line. Last year was the starting left guard. Gets a big contract with Jacksonville. Now he's going to be the starter there. Good for him. Probably your biggest loss on the offensive line, having to move Voorhees now as the starter. Josh Johnson is gone. You may see him again as a coach, signing with the Commanders. Brent Urban, John Harbaugh guy. I didn't see where he retired. He's not signed anywhere. He is going to be 35, I believe. So that's why he hasn't signed. I know John Harbaugh loves Brent Urban, but I think they've kind of filled his spot. I think that maybe they'll call him up if they need him type deal or something like that, but he hasn't signed anything. Absolutely, Michael Pierce announced his retirement as well at nose tackle, so you're not going to have Pierce at all retiring from the NFL. Arthur Millette did sign with the Steelers and since then has been released from Pittsburgh. So he's not going to be playing this year. He's still, I think it's the Texans he's playing for. I think I saw that the other day where I think he signed. I think he signed with Houston as well. Jets, Brandon Stevens. Yeah. I don't think there was any way they were going to bring Brandon back. I think a lot of us can agree they did upgrade with Jair Alexander, etc. Brandon might be pretty good for the Jets. You never know. Tavarius Wright back with the Bills, so definitely played for the Bills before. Very familiar. Marcus Williams made news this week, definitely criticizing the Ravens organization for the lack of communication when they took him out. That could be true, but he didn't play well. I think ultimately, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think like Marcus, that was the biggest upgrade during the course of the year when they took Marcus out. I think he signed with the Steelers. I think he signed with the team. I don't know. I don't know if that's right. I don't think he signed with the Steelers. And I'm aware of. Justin Tucker, the GOAT, he's definitely going to get a suspension whenever he does sign. Some people want Tucker back. I don't know if he's going to, if that door's open. I will say, you have rookie kickers. So they may have to, again, Ray fan might not be used to seeing this. They might have to change it 2 times or something during the year, depending on how the kickers do. They've looked good so far today on the first day. What's coming in to the team? Cooper Rush, I think, is the best backup quarterback the Ravens have had maybe ever. Definitely now if Lamar does miss some time, miss some practice, certainly at least even in practice now, you're going to be able to move the ball much better than you were before without Lamar in there. Note boom, I think, from the Rams as well. Definitely, I think they're going to look at him for the similar role that Pat McCarry used to play, guard, tackle. He has some versatility. I don't think he's great at any one position, but I think moving him around, I'm thinking that's the role. DeAndre Hopkins from the Chiefs. DeAndre is not the same player, was one of the best receivers in the league at one point. Good, solid third receiver at this point. Good contributor, and I know Lamar wanted to play with him. I know that's a factor why he's here. John Jenkins signs with the Raiders, from the Raiders, rather. Solid backup. So I think, like we talked about Brent Urban not being here, I think part of the reason you get a vet like Josh Jenkins in here as well, that's probably the reason why you don't have a big solid nose. Also, too, Michael Pierce retired. Need to go ahead and take care of that. Jake Hummel missed the first practice for the Ravens today. So we'll see special teams. It's going to be tough. That's a spot where Ravens have had a lot of undrafted free agents come play well. So it'll be interesting to see that. Chibolo Gates, eventually I'll say it right, for the Titans. I think he got diminished with the next signing, Jair Alexander. I do think he makes the team. I think he'd be a good, solid fourth corner as well, or if there's an injury or something like that. But Jair Alexander, I think you could argue he's one of the better cornerbacks in the entire NFL as well. So outstanding signing for the Ravens there. That's what came in, free agent, trade-wise, etc. Draft picks. Malachi Starks, I think, was easy. To me, it was very easy. He was the best safety in the draft. They go ahead and get Malachi Starks. It got highlighted even more with the addition of Darius Washington actually going out for injury. Mike Green was a steal because of some off-field stuff. Mike Green was able to go ahead and become a good player in the offseason. I think he's the future of the pass rush for the team. Emory Jones is hurt here at the start, so I don't know how much they're going to have him. Teddy Buchanan is absolutely going to be competing with Trent Simpson for the starting inside linebacker as well. Carson Vincent, I think, is going to go ahead and become a Carson Vincent is going to be like a developmental guy. I don't think he's going to play much at all. I think you're going to see him use him like the Ravens did Jared Gaither a couple years ago. He might play if they need him, etc. But I think he's going to be a sit. Blau Cone, I think he's going to have an uphill battle. I think these corners are going to have an uphill battle to make the team. I'm thinking practice squad for him. Tall, lean guy. I think you'll see him a lot. Tyler Luke should be the Ravens' new starting kicker, replacing the GOAT, Justin Tucker. Luke was a very good player in college. I'm sorry, I didn't get that right. It's not Kentucky. I think it was Arizona. Sorry about that. So Javante Wester, point from Colorado, kick and punt returner, six round, 203rd pick. He's going to be your starter and punt returner. And Aeneas Peoples, outstanding, I think, as well. I think this is Brent Urban's spot right here for sure. I think he's definitely going to make the roster. Little smallish, that's the only concern, but definitely has the quicks. Last two, Robert Longerbeam and Jared Dillinger, practice squad. I'm thinking it is possible they could be good in camp. You never know. 5 biggest games on the schedule for sure. I'm not one of these people that's going to just qualify a week 1 game as one of your biggest games of the year. That's absolutely not true. You're going into the place where you got eliminated just like you did last year in Buffalo. Send a message right away. I think these are the 2 best teams in the AFC, the Bills and the Ravens. Bills, I think, improved their team, getting Jordan Palmer, etc. Measure yourself right away. So you know right away how much you got work to do with the Bills. If you're better than the Bills, you can get a psychological error. There's no disadvantage to me to playing this in the first game. The team you have had the most struggle with, I don't think they're as good this year, but definitely Kansas City going into Arrowhead. I think Arrowhead might be the most difficult place to play in the entire NFL. So it's definitely going to be difficult to go into Arrowhead and win games. So I think they're still pretty good, but it'd be a good measuring stick. Can you now assert yourself against the Chiefs team, who's still pretty good, still with Mahomes and Reed and all that, etc.? Can you outplay them because you have a superior team? Interesting. Game of the year last couple of years ago, the Rams and the Ravens. Ravens now one of the better teams, I think, in the entire NFL. So are the Rams. I think the Rams might be the best team in the NFC. Rams, you're going to have your work cut out for them. No mistake. No mistakes for the Rams. They are the new version of New England Patriots. Very few flags, very disciplined, etc. Rams, the next Bengals, I think, are the probably next toughest competition in the division this year. Joe Burrow, I think, is MVP level quarterback, just like Lamar Jackson. A lot of people feel that he's the best quarterback in the NFL, along with Lamar. So we'll see about that. And of course, the Squealers always beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I think, has closed the gap a little bit. They did go get Aaron Rodgers. They did go get Jaren Ramsey. They did go get I think they did get DK Metcalf. So they have done some things. It might work. So I think this will be tougher than maybe I thought it was a few months ago in Pittsburgh. 5 biggest storylines. Who's the best tight end on the Ravens roster? I don't know. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see it all year. Pretty sure out the gate they're going to start Mark Andrews, I would think. As we go, we will see if they go ahead and go to Isaiah Likely more or if he gets more time. Both of these guys have enormous pressure on them. They're playing for their next contract, be it in Baltimore or somewhere else. Both of them will not get it as Ravens. We know that. Both of them will not be Ravens next year for sure. So we will see that play out. What role will DeAndre Hopkins play? Some people, I've seen it in the media and fans, I think they have a higher expectation for DeAndre than I think what you're going to see on the field. I think DeAndre is going to play well, but he's a third receiver at this point. No longer one of the best receivers in the league. I think like he can, not like you saw in Kansas City, when you need him, if there's an injury, if there's something, I think he's very comfortable with Lamar. So absolutely, I think that's a sign. It's just the best Ravens of offense of all time. I think on paper, I can't remember a better Ravens offense starting the season like this. First couple years, this is going to be my 4th football season. And actually, as a Ravens fan, now we're at year 30, almost 30 years old time since they've been a franchise. So I can't remember a better offensive group as far as on paper to start the season. You got Pro Bowls at running back, potential Pro Bowl at wide receiver, Pro Bowls tight end, offensive line, on defense, of course. You're great on defense. So the roster is arguably the best roster in the league in the NFL. That's not purple-colored glasses. A lot of people are saying that. The best roster in the league. Malachi Starks and Mike Green help the defense. Malachi Starks is going to start for sure now with the unfortunate injury to Darius, who's probably not going to play at all this year as well. So Malachi Starks is going to start from minute 1. I don't think that's going to do anything but help him. It's also going to allow Kyle Hamilton to kind of do what he does, be more of a Swiss Army knife as well. Where kind of last year they had to use him in a different role with the whole thing with Marcus and Derek. So I think you're going to see more of the Kyle Hamilton we've seen with Malachi Starks there. Mike Green, I think, is the future of the pass rush. I think he could be the present too. I think he's going to get as much opportunity to play. It could take some snaps from Kyle Van Noy, who's getting older. But Kyle Van Noy was great last year. So I'm not diminishing Kyle Van Noy in as well. And obviously the number one question, how is it going to go in January for the Ravens? And I think that's a question we all have. Can you beat Buffalo, Kansas City, or maybe somebody will surprise us? I don't think there's no flaws in this roster. You got coaching, you got defense, you got offense. You have the tools. You have to play better in the games in January when they count, and you have to finish and button up when it counts in January. So that's all we're worried about here. So there you go. State of the franchise for the Ravens. All right, so state of the franchise. We're looking good on paper. No problems here in July. Obviously, after the first practice, everything looks good on paper. Healthy too. I mean, we've had some springs and stuff. We've had so many injuries or whatever. Relatively injury free. Lamar's ready to go. A lot of these guys are ready to go. Did have the Ladarius injury, so you're going to have some injuries, especially like that. Not today, obviously, on the first day of camp, but as it goes and we pile it up, you're going to have some injuries. So we'll see. That's the state of the Ravens franchise, not the state of the union there as well. And we will go ahead and do some more football here. All right, so we're going to do our list. We're going to go all the way down up until the first game of the season. So we're halfway through. This is the last one here on offense. Next week, we're going to start doing defense as well. Edge rush, we're going to start talking about this week. This is the last of the big guys. So who are the top 10 centers in the NFL? Who are the guys who are the top 10 as far as players? This is the leader of the line, right? So you look at last week, you look at guards, that's icing on the cake. Tackle is so important, the quarterback's line side. This is the leader. This is the guy getting the calls. This is the guy getting everybody all together. So very important on lines. I think center is very overlooked. I think some teams think they have a good line. I don't know any really, really good lines in the history of the league without a really good center. It almost doesn't exist. If that's your weakness, you got a problem. Almost even more than tackle sometimes. I think I'm even going that far. I've seen it. But these are the 10 best in the league. And just start off, no Frank Ragnow. Obviously, he retired. He would have been in the top 10 as well. So let's get that out the way as well. Cam Jurgens. So definitely big shoes to fill in Philadelphia, not getting Travis Kelce. Not with Travis Kelce going ahead and retiring, so we had big shoes to fill there. So Cam Jurgens, I think, is the guy in Philadelphia. I think he's top 10. I think he's definitely like a lot of the Eagle linemen as well. He is a better run defender, run blocker than he is a pass one. So again, and he's got great players around him, but he was very, very good. So definitely you got to feel good about getting him as well. So definitely I think fits right in. Definitely big shoes to fill. I think he's definitely bona fide in the top 10. I think he's a solid addition as well. Still cheap on that cheap contract. Still going to get a big contract eventually. So Jurgens, I like him. I like the entire Eagles line. Number 10, Aaron Brewer for the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins line I don't like much. They did have Armstead retire as well last year, so I think that was their best lineman. I think this now is their best lineman when you talk about Aaron Brewer. Aaron Brewer has he's like looks bigger to me than what his size always says. Small, quick body, but like he looks a lot bigger, a lot more solid than when I actually see him. So, but Brewer, I think has been the probably bright spot on the offensive line. Have to keep Tua protected. I got Brewer at 9. I think clearly the best lineman on the Dolphins. Connor McGovern, not Conor McGregor. Connor McGovern for the Buffalo Bills. Bills another team with an ascending line. McGovern, I think, here's a guy that's really pro football grade, was 69 last year. I think that was a little underrated. Again, better run blocker than pass blocker. I think you see that a lot on this list. That's why they're a little bit lower. But McGovern, I think, was a great leader on the Bills offense. That's a bit unconventional because you have the Josh Allen factor as well. Pretty nasty, plays very well as well. Big guy, 318. You could easily put him at guard. He'd be even more effective as well. So I think McGovern definitely now, maybe somebody would argue with this, but I think I'm very comfortable going ahead and putting him in the top 10. I'm going to say his name right. Eli Foyot for the Arizona Cardinals, and he was fantastic last year. I think Arizona's line as a whole is much better than what we think it is. I think they kind of don't get credit for having a decent enough line. I think you look at what they've done the last couple of years with James Conner playing well, etc. I think like they're much better than what they credit for as well. So he's 310 pounds, 28 years old. This is a better, I think. Excuse me. This guy's a better run blocker as well than a pass blocker. Not love him in the pass blocking game, but again, kind of same deal. Kyler Murray is there, etc. I think this guy has a good upside. I think like you can see him much higher on the rankings as we go forward. But Foley, I think it has been fantastic on I think an underrated Cardinals line. Yes, we got Steelers here. Zach Frazier, recent draft pick. He was kind of better than everybody thought last year. They brought in a lot of young offensive players in Pittsburgh, and they're still waiting on that offensive line. They're not waiting for Zach Frazier. I think Zach Frazier was clearly the best of that. Mauler in the run game. So he played guard in college, and so now they're playing him at center, and he's really strong in the run game as well. Definitely you're going to have Najee Harris is gone, so now you got Jaylen Warren. There probably be Jaylen Warren as the lead back there, so it'll be interesting as well. But they have a history of great centers as well. I thought Frazier up and coming. A lot of these guys potential. You can move them up, down. I don't have too problems. A lot of these guys potential, but Frazier really good last year. PFF grade 76, run block grade 66. So I'm sorry, run block grade 66. Yeah, 79. So Frazier was really good last year. Lots of potential, could go up, get out. But I think of the young group there, of the guys that just kind of came around, I think definitely the best potential of all of those guys. Now here's a solid vet, Drew Dalman of now the Atlanta Falcons. Played for the Bears for so many years. Bears line again, that's another one. Of the Bears, of the Chicago Bears. Play for Atlanta, I'm sorry. So now for the Bears, and the Bears line I think is really, really good. I think Ben Johnson is there, so you absolutely feel good about that. I think that's really what he specializes in. He got an outstanding run blocker here. I think Dahlman, is one of the better run blockers in the entire NFL. I think he is going to make a big difference there as well. I think he just got priced out of Atlanta. I don't think there was anything wrong there. Blocking for Bijan Robinson. Very good making the line calls, I think, too. Very cerebral when I actually see him. So Dahlman, I have him at number 5. A guy who didn't play at all last year, pretty much, Eric McCoy. This is just kind of based on the years he's put in. I know New Orleans isn't very good. I know. But I think McCoy is kind of going to return to form as well. Very good. PFF grade. Outstanding run blocker. No question about it. Little small, and it's even astounding here because he's barely 300 pounds, and he's such a really good run blocker. Decent pass blocker as well. He's going to have his work cut out for him in New Orleans because I don't think the Saints are very good. But it'll be interesting to see that. But some people might say, well, because he missed so much time, they was putting that high. I like him there. I think McCoy is definitely there as well. Ryan Kelly for now. You see him there in the Colts gear. Now he's going to be for the Minnesota Vikings. Again, young quarterback. He's blocking for as if he didn't as well. Kelly, I think, is fantastic. I think this is a good, solid, I think serviceable. I don't even want to say – it almost would sound insulting if I say serviceable, but that's kind of what I get the vibe with him. Better than serviceable, just real solid. Not real dominant in one area with the run or the pass blocking. I think he's about even. I think that's why he's a little bit higher. Just a good pass blocker, I think. So I think going to Minnesota, interesting to see how that offense looks as well. Taking a teammate with him, that always helps as well. Tyler Linderbaum, it could only be a matter of time before Tyler Linderbaum is the best center, I think, in the entire NFL. Linderbaum, I think, look, you see a lot of guys, and you don't see it a lot in the John Harbaugh era, where guys come right away and play well, where they'll come right away and they play well. There's two guys that came right in, started, C.J. Mosley and Tyler Linderbaum. From minute one, second one, oh yeah. There's no doubt. Tyler Linderbaum is a complete lineman. His run stats are always better than his pass stats. When I see him, I think he's a good pass blocker. I think it's more the Ravens offense. You could put him in any offense, and I think he'll do very well. So Linderbaum, I think, is two. But number one is for the Chefs, Creed Humphrey. Humphrey, I think, is a complete package at center. I think he's going down. There's no Joe Tooney on there in Kansas City. So that's going to be a thing. So he's going to get more attention, I think, as well. Be a little harder for him because I don't think the line overall will be as good. But the best, every metric you could think of, win rate, pass block grade, PFF grade, everything is a number one. Creed Humphrey, best offensive lineman, center, rather, in the NFL. There you go. So, there you go. Top 10 centers in the NFL. So, thank you for that as well. Tyler Linderbaum may get there. But I do think Creed Humphrey is still the best one. Still the best one by a pretty good margin, too. Creed Humphrey's really, 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 really good as well. Really helped the Chiefs in the offensive line. But Linderbaum, I think, maybe gets there at some point, becoming the best center in the NFL. If he never does, it'll be because of Creed Humphrey, who's still pretty young at 26 years old. All right. So we got a lot of sports media to talk about before we get to baseball. We're going to get to baseball, but there's a lot that happened today. And as far as sports media, we're going to talk about media a little bit here as well. This happened earlier. Robert Marchand, excuse me. No starting run. I'm sorry. Robert Marchand for NFL Media. I'm sorry. Robert Marchand report. Let me do that again. I'm still on camera. Yeah, I'm on camera. Robert Marchand reported that ESPN is nearing a deal to require NFL media that would include NFL landing the ESPN landing the NFL Network as well as the Red Zone as well. This has been works for a while. They've been paring down at the NFL Network. They've had less shows. They got rid of a lot of the morning football. They went ahead and did that. So we've been hearing this for a while that ESPN eventually is just going to buy the NFL Network and just partner with it. And so what this does is it gives the NFL, they're going to buy an equity stake in the ESPN. So I think this is good for both sides, I think, as far as financially at least. I think this is good for both sides as well. NFL Films, I kind of think of NFL Network as NFL Films. So they're going to own the whole thing. It's interesting to see if they actually run NFL Network or they just consolidate it into their current content. We'll see. I have not heard that for sure yet if they're going to go ahead and do that. UFL, 4 markets for 2026. The entire USFL conference is going to relocate. I saw a couple things. I don't know exactly where these teams are going, but I could say Birmingham and a lot of those teams in the UFL that are there are not going to be there. This is very strange to me. Why is the USFL teams not there? Why the 4 teams in the old XFL teams get to stay? So that includes the Commander, the DC Defenders, I'm assuming. But I think this is a very weird set of circumstances. I know Driving to the Top, I know they do a UFL show. I'm sure they're going to be talking about this as well. But they are going to have a 3rd season. Some teams are relocate. I heard Iowa. Other cities are going to take over the USFL. Interesting to see with that. Again. Interesting there. All right. Sports media, we're going to talk about Fox for sure. I'm going to go on Cole. I'm even going to talk about Stephen Colbert because that's a big deal. That's a big deal. All right. Fox is suspended. I saw this just right before I went on, they've expanded their First Things First talk show from 2 hours to 3 hours, and they've added Danny Parkers as a regular analyst. And so it'll be on from 3 to 6 now as well. So I think they were on. I'm not even sure. I think it was 3 to 4:30 before, and then Speak came on. So now they're going to go ahead and absorb that. Parkins was on their show, their morning show, which are no longer going to do Breakfast Bowl, and so not a surprise that Parkins is going to be there. I thought I saw like he might only be there 1 hour, 2 hour. So I think that's probably right that he's going to be on First Things First. So they're giving it more time. They're going to add Parkins there as well. That makes sense as well, considering what's coming here as well. So interested to see First Things First, the surviving show on FS1, along with Colin Cowherd as well. No surprise. And First Things First now, if you're wondering why didn't bother First Things First, it's now become the number one rated show on all the network. So shout out to them getting that as well. Nick Wright being there the whole time since they debuted years ago with Chris Carter. Like, bet y'all forgot that. All right, we're going to talk about Barstool here, FS1 partnership with Barstool. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I'm going to tie the Barstool thing in, but I want to talk about Stephen Colbert this week because those of you that don't know, and I'm going to tie it in, but I'm going to go off to be a little bit off sports here as well, because I think this is a bigger deal than what people think it is. Certainly in media, if you're in traditional media, this is bad. Very, 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 very bad. Very bad for you. Okay, so traditional media. Stephen Colbert was fired this week. Sundance Media is going to buy or become the parent company of CBS, Paramount, a lot of companies. This week, they have a merger going through apparently right now. And so what's going on is they are trying to buy it as well. So Stephen Colbert was fired from his late night talk show. He's been there for 10 years. Colbert been the late night host. He's been a late night host for a long, long time. Was on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart. Check that out if you haven't seen the Jon Stewart response to that. So he was fired after 10 years as well. And they are canceling the Late Show. My favorite show, one of my favorite comedians all the way growing up was David Letterman. So I loved to watch David Letterman as a young kid. So I always watched the Late Show. I'm big, still to this day, love David Letterman fan. Okay, what does this have to do with I'm getting there, right? So what we're talking about is the late night show was canceled for financial reasons. So I thought that was just crazy that would be it. So this is why a lot of people in media are saying that as well. Donald Trump, we're going to talk a little bit about Trump. I'll break the rule a little bit to talk a little bit about Trump. Is apparently was very unhappy with Stephen Colbert. Apparently the rumor is he wanted him fired, or he's kind of certainly it isn't a rumor. He tweeted out saying, "I'm glad he's gone. I don't like this guy." Blah blah blah. All right, so that happened. So, and there was a settlement that's been reported, $16 million that was paid from CBS. I keep saying CBS, Paramount, the parent company, and to the Trump administration, $16 million as far as a lawsuit. So not only he was actually paid, President Trump was actually paid $16 million. All right, what does this have to do with that? I'm getting there, right? So $16 million. $16 million was actually paid out to them. So some people believe that this is a bribe. They're trying to grease the wheels so Trump can go ahead and approve their merger. There's billions of dollars involved. They want to get this done. They want to go ahead and make sure. They don't want the FCC and Trump and all this and the administration to hold us up. They got rid of Colbert to actually do. Some people believe that. Maybe that's right. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Some people believe Colbert has been cracking on Trump, and they're saying that Trump was, because of that, all the jokes he makes that Trump was offended by that, and that's the reason, not the financial side, whatever. I kind of don't buy that one either. Like, why would you even hire Stephen Colbert in the first place, right? Or Jon Stewart or Bill Maher? Or these guys, they do political comedy. So why all of a sudden would that be? I can't imagine that's. So I don't think that's what it is. So that's a whole nother thing. So you talk about that. I don't know if that's. It could be true. It could factor in. Sometimes when you lose a job, it's more than one reason. Like often. So those could be factoring in. When you see people in media acting the wow and their eyes go like, oh, I can't believe, because for years, and I think this is the bad sign, the late night show was the cash cow for the network, right? Not the primetime shows. The primetime shows might make money or some money or whatever, and another thing, they're not introducing many primetime shows right now. They are like ABC's and are introducing one show for the fall, new show. 911, that's it. So a lot of these things, they're cutting back across the board. So you see that as well. So the late night show apparently is reported, and I don't know if this is true, obviously, but $40 million they lost. This is bad for media because you got a show that was the cash cow for the network losing $40 million. It's over. Because this was like 300 million, 400 million. That's why they paid so much for Colbert and a lot of these guys, because they make so much money for the network. That's why they wanted these type shows. They made so much money. David Letterman and all these guys, Johnny. That's why they had so much pull in the network, because they made them so much money. That was the thing that cost it as well. So that's bad. That's very, very bad. Very, very bad. I think the next thing is going to be where they actually cut actual now, and it hasn't happened yet, actual strong, pillar cable channels. CNN is still around. MSNBC is still. That's the next thing when they actually shut the doors of a major. They shut some small ones down. That's happening a lot, but they shut the major one down. Now, what's this have to do with Barstool, right? Barstool, FS1 fired all of their talent. FS1 Barstool, which is, I think, you could argue this is the number one podcast network, sports podcast network, and they're going to go ahead and take over at FS1, 8 to 10 in the morning, the old spot for Carton in First Things First. And I'm hearing, according to a college podcast, they're going to run it again at 10 o'clock. Again, I don't think they're going to leave it like that. I have heard a rumor of Kellerman and Marcellus doing something, or reality. I continue to hear those things, and I think it's still a work in progress as well. But for now, they're going to have Cowherd 12 to 3, and they're going to have Nick Wright and company First Things First 3 to 6. And I think probably, my guess is they're going to have one more show at that 10-12 in the First Take spot. That's probably what I'm guessing. Fox can't figure it out. That's wild. Fox can't get a show. You need Dave Portnoy and Barstool to come in. He's going to be on FS1. He's going to be on the Big Noon Kickoff. He's going to do all these things. Him and Big Cat and then the Pardon My Take guys are going to come in. He's already started selling ESPN. So it is over for legacy media. That's bad. Colbert getting fired. Whole Slack getting fired. Everybody's getting – it's over. There's no hope. There's going to be no more big money a lot of times. Stephen A. and a lot of these guys, these are going to be the last of these big salaries in cable as well in traditional media, unless you have what we're trying to build here, Radio Sports Podcast that deals with footprint. So, long sermon there about media. And so, again, talk to Dan Lane, DCR TV. So, check that out, their interview. But watch your digital media. We are now becoming the media. It's over for them. I'm calling it. Like they can't get around. I mean, all the money FS1 has, and you need them to go ahead and do it crazy. All right. Told you we get to baseball after we talked about that stuff. And so we're gonna do our baseball summer series. Shout outs, real quick, while I'm looking for this, to the great Malcolm Jamal Warner. Cosby Show, when I was growing up, was my favorite show. Theo, I think, was way cooler than I was, and so was Malcolm Jamal Warner. So shout out to him. The late Ozzy Osbourne, I think Black Sabbath, the era of heavy metal. I grew up as a kid in the 80s. A lot of kids listened to Black. I wasn't necessarily one of them, but I think no cooler guy than Ozzy Osbourne. Very impressive. Married 45 years, despite everything he did. So shout out to him as well. So we're going to talk about one of the most beautiful parks in all of minor league baseball, the Hagerstown Flying Spots Cars in year 2 at Meredith Park. So let's go ahead and check him out here. So Shane Turner is now the manager for them. Mark Mason was let go earlier in the year. There's pressure on these guys too. Minor league team, independent, manager will let go. Obviously, you look at the record, not good, 18-55. I didn't update tonight's game, but that's what it is. David Blackstone is the GM there for him as well. David Richardson, Daniel Corino, and Mike Kickham. David Richardson is full circle. Actually played in the Gulf Coast League for the Orioles back in 2010. David Corino, 34 years old, 13 years in the minors. And Mike Kickham, they're probably their most consistent pitcher as far as starting pitcher this year. It's been a pro since 2010. So you see how long these guys have been playing. 15 years. They're in the minor leagues. These are not guys that are probably not going to the majors, right? Right away. These are guys that are just finishing out their career, love the game of baseball. What they're probably hoping for, most of them, as far as a baseball future, is to stay in the game, make some contacts, become a manager, announcer, GM, scout, things like that as well at this point. You never know. Sometimes they might get lucky or latch on, or there's a coach or player they're familiar with that, something like that. But these are not guys that are top 100 prospects as well. And shout out to them. I'm not even saying it in any disparaging way. They're doing this for the love of the game. Gary Mathis for the Blue, I think he's their best player that I saw watching all the videos. Fast, and fast. 14 steals. I'm surprised it's not more than that as fast as he runs the bases. 5 home runs, 20 RBIs, 320 average. Really been doing a good job for them. The top of the order, Wellington Dotel, almost 40 years old. Good for him. Solid hitter. Doesn't play as much, obviously, because of his age, I think. But I think he's still a solid hitter. I mean, he's still hitting over 300 when they do play him. So shout out to him. Oswaldo Abreu, 31 years old, leading the team, tied for the team league in home runs, 30 RBIs, 230 as well. Joe DeLuca as well, hit some home runs. I saw some of those videos where Joe DeLuca was hitting the long ball as well. Drives the ball as well. Not great behind the plate, but I think hits the ball, has some pop in his bat as well. And I think Rafael Kelly is their best relief pitcher, throws very hard. 2 and 4, 8, and probably 243. He's their closer. Unfortunately, they haven't won many games for him to close, but he's been really good for them as well. So I think of all the guys I think on the list here, Mattis and Kelly are the 2 guys. If they ever make it to the majors, I could see it. I could see them still having a major league career. I don't know about Dotel. I don't seriously doubt it. Dotel at this point. Abreu or DeLuca actually makes the majors. Those other guys, I think. They're probably coaches in waiting. So, and if you have not been to Meredith Park in Hagerstown, it is a gorgeous facility. I think certainly it is an absolute thing that you have to go ahead and check out if you have never been to Meredith Park. Absolutely beautiful. Second year. Attendance not as good this year from what I can see. You're not very good, and now this is your second year, so that doesn't surprise me a whole lot. There you go. The Boxcars. I don't like the name. Respect the effort. Love y'all guys, but I don't like the name. I don't know why you did. I'm assuming you couldn't use Hagerstown's Sons, and I understand the history behind it, but that sounds weird. It just sounds weird. Great franchise, but not a great name. Oreos report. So I'm gonna actually look at the score here real quick, guys, because I'm turned it off. Yeah, they did lose 3-2. I'm assuming Class A came in the game at the end because Class A was warming up just in case they got the lead. They got the lead off the double from Quan as well in the eighth. So Orioles now lose 3 in a row. So they're definitely selling here as well. Recall Grant Northam from Norfolk and required a 2025 pick for exchange for Brian Baker and selected the contract of David Adamos from AAA. All right, so we already know that. DFA Corbin Martin, he elects for free agency. He's already back as well. Friday agreed to term with Corbin Martin on a minor league contract. Agreed to terms down. Here we go. Caden Bodine, Ike Irish on minor league contracts, and Chadrick Trump, Low A Delmarva. Trump may come back at some point if there's actually an opening for him. They have signed a couple catchers ahead of him as well. Bodine, I think, is like I thought. They kind of see him as an actual catcher, according to Ken Rosenthal. Where Irish, I think he's going to play outfield, several other positions. Not quite yet. Interesting to see with that. Definitely in our Rave Sports, check out the video I posted where Ken Rosenthal was talking about Adley Rushman. Oh, man. Was talking about Adley Rushman. So definitely keep that in mind as well. Future may be in some peril here. We'll see here at the trade deadline. Also agreed to terms with other early draft picks. Rima Aloy, JT Quinn, Joseph Duraza on minor league contracts. Sent Kate Povich down to rehab assignment. Keep back in the I'm sorry, Oriole fans. So, Kay Povich. Povich, I think, will be back. I think there are going to be some guys gone after the trade deadline. So you might as well go ahead and rehab him because I think there is going to be a spot for him after the 31st. Next week, baseball summer, we're going to talk about the trade deadline, all the stuff that's going on, not just the Orioles, but the entire league, MLB trade deadline as well. I think signing their draft picks is good. I don't know if they're going to get the other one done, the fourth pick they had. I forgot his name's Slater, where he might go to college. So we'll see on that. But their first 3, they've actually went ahead and signed. Adley Rushman, again, AAA in Norfolk. He's already started. Him and Mountie will at Norfolk sometime this week. I haven't heard anything that Mountie's actually started. Parvich, I think, is going to pitch tomorrow or sometime this week, Thursday or Friday. As well. Zach Eflin was on the mound tonight. He's been reinstated. They transferred Maverick Hanley from the 7-day DL to the 10-day DL. The pitcher last night, Brandon Young, went back to Norfolk. So he already went back. He pitched last night as well. Eflin, I think this could be the last time tonight we saw him. I thought he was good. I'd like to see him pitch more than 5 innings, but I do understand it. They probably had him on pitch count. Maverick Hanley's probably worse off than thought with this concussion. He hasn't seen the field at all. So he had a concussion now. We're working on like 30 days now. We haven't seen Maverick. So, yeah, unfortunate what's going on with Maverick. So on Tuesday, Maverick Adley goes to Norfolk on a rehab assignment. Chadrick Trump goes to rehab in Aberdeen as well. Dylan Carlson, who's actually in the lineup tonight from Norfolk, and Luis Vasquez gets option to AAA. So Tyler O'Neill apparently has general body soreness. I don't know what that is. I don't understand that with the general body soreness. So apparently that's why he couldn't play. So they brought up Carlson. So they kept saying during the broadcast he's going to be up in a day or two. So why did you bring Carlson up? Like if he's going to be back in a day or two, and I don't I don't. He should be up anyway over Vasquez, in my opinion, anyway. But still, like I don't understand that. I think. Well, we're finally going to get some clarity here after the deadline because the Orioles are definitely going to sell. Who's been playing well? Jordan Westburg's been really good as well. Solid hitter. He's a solid hitter. Old guy, use that old Carney Lansford. Just a solid contact hitter. He's got some speed, got some power, but just a solid hitter. Jackson Holliday now hit his home run tonight. Tied for the team lead in home runs with 14. And Trevor Rogers was great again, even though the Orioles didn't win in his last start. Not getting runs when they needed. Anthony Dominguez, it's like it seems like him and Cedric. I'm only talking about them when they're not playing well. They've actually haven't been horrible at all points this year. It's just like I'm talking about them when they're not playing well. But they have not played well in the last week. Dominguez again had poor in relief again. I don't even know what to say about Tyler O'Neill. I don't even know if you could trade him, considering he's in and out of the lineup. He hasn't played well when he's been in it. You got Dylan Beavers in the minors, and and you got Tyler O'Neill, who's not giving you anything. So I don't know what even to say about that. This week, Colorado Rockies, going into that. Colorado is one of the few teams that's worse than the Orioles in the MLB. And the Blue Jays, and I think the opposite end. They're the most surprising team. I'm really surprised how good the Blue Jays have been. I absolutely think, and this will be right after the deadline, they'll be buyers. And I never would have thought I said that. I thought they were going to dismantle their team and everything in Toronto, but they have been fantastic all season here as well. And Ramon Laureano, could he be dumped? We're going to talk about that next week. Laureano's been fantastic. Fantastic. I think he's shown a lot of passion when he's played. I think he's been good defensively. He's hit for power, and he's consistently driving the ball. So I think he's been your most pleasant surprise in a season full of surprises, unfortunately negative. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you very much for this week. Those of you, a lot of you, there's like 94 in here, and most of you are on Twitter. One of you will get a cookie. Not really. If you go to the YouTube, Ravy Sports Podcast on YouTube, and subscribe, and definitely check that out. Thank you, all of you, for watching this tonight. We're getting growing, and we appreciate it here. Definitely check it out on Ravy Sports Podcast, Driving to the Top Productions as well, a partner platform. You guys enjoy yourself. Have a great rest of your week.